least 3 or 4 years. I've been working here in Mountain View area, and I like to go on this walk. It's about a 2-mile loop on around. It's not too bad. It's kind of fun. Gets me out. It gets really hot though during the summer, especially around the corner. You get towards the Samsung head or the Symantec headquarters, and there's just like a bunch of concrete. Gets really warm, so you kind of have to stop or slow down a little bit. But yeah, I do this a couple times a week, 3 or 4 maybe. And it's kind of fun. There's always new things going on. So I thought I'd just record a few bits here and there and show people and maybe do more along the way. Yeah. So this is pretty cool. Maybe like 5 months ago, 6 months ago or something like that, they started putting up these buildings, and at first we weren't really sure what they were going to look like or who was going into them. But they're looking kind of neat. It's pretty impressed at how fast they went up. This is the parking garage. They're installing solar panels up at the top of it. But this is going to be Samsung's new headquarters here in the US. And it's right along the 101 and right across from Moffett Field. And so it's got a really great view probably from up top there. And I can't wait to sneak inside and take a look around once they get it completed. And there's 2 of these types of buildings here, and then 2 parking structures and a lot of space in between that they're going to have landscape and everything, so it should be fun. Yeah. And it's really crazy how fast they got up the structure with the pouring the concrete and everything like that. From concrete on, it's been a lot slower. It's more precise, I don't know. But yeah, they're getting there. They're getting there. And probably next year sometime they'll be all moved in. I'm gonna hate to see what it does to traffic here, because like this is just like a 2-lane road that goes around, and not a very big off-ramp here at the end of it at Ellis. So maybe they'll be expanding that, but we'll see. I mean, there's already a lot of offices around here. I mean, Samsung's here. There's like around the corner, fairly big offices. Facebook's not that far away, so interesting space to be in. And the space where Samsung is used to be a bunch of like little low one-story buildings that looked a lot like this one. Violin Memory was in there, but I guess they outgrew it and they moved into a much bigger space and tore it down to put up, these guys right across the street. A few more of our neighbors here. Here's Hitachi Chemicals in Selectro, right across the street from what is going to be Samsung. So this is always fun. Right across the street here, NASA Ames Research Center. Can't see them, but there's a couple of hangars back there for Flint. The research center's here. I actually went here when the space shuttle did its last flyby, and they were bringing it down to LA. And they had a big event on the airstrip there, and they kind of like flew really low so you can see it. And I kind of like walked around on the Air Force Base, Moffett Airfield for a while. This is also where, when the president comes to visit like Zuckerberg or somebody, this is where he lands. And then he goes downtown to San Jose and stays on the Fairmont. This inconspicuous little building here used to be one of the locations for Riot Printing, which was formerly San Jose Blue. They moved all the stuff out, consolidated it, and sold a bunch of it off. Bicycles out front, and then right through there, this is the Hacker Dojo. This is where they've moved to, and really cool things happen in there. And if nothing else, hey, they've got a Bitcoin ATM. It seems like no office park around here is complete without its very own specialties for amazing cookies and not much else. This is the street. It's always super frickin' hot here. So here is Tango. They're kind of like Skype. They reside in this building over here. Kind of interesting. One of the designers that used to work with us in the consumer marketing side, he ended up quitting. One of his friends recruited him to come help Tango out. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing. He came by once, but he didn't really talk about it much. But this is the building. And you kind of look across the street here. This guy over here, which has a really fancy like road down here, is you know, there's no sign out front, but it's Google. This is where their sales department resides for the most part, and a lot of those things happen. There's a bunch of like really big buildings. You get down in between them, and it gets kind of interesting and googly. This road is really nice. Really tall trees down it. You can see one of the Google bikes parked right there. But yeah, I always wondered what was in there. Then I wandered in one day, and then over here, right next to them, is Symantec. This is their world headquarters, and they have a pretty big campus. So it's a bunch of these buildings there. You know, these guys over here. There's another building like at the corner of the street, like all the way down there. So they basically are going from here to there, and then you come down to the end of the street. There's more, and Zynga used to be around here too. Zynga, however you want to pronounce it, and they occupied one of the buildings for a little while, and then they moved out. And apparently this building here, according to one of the guys that I work with, used to be a AOL building, and he worked with their chat client for a little while in here, well after they had gone defunct, really. This was like 5 to 6 years ago, maybe 10, something like that. But yeah, Symantec. Google. Tango. Trees. So yeah, here you go. More Symantec over there behind the palm trees and the fountain that they normally have going, but they turned it off because we're in the middle of a drop and they thought it would be good. All Symantec. All these guys, all those guys, all this guy here, and back down there. And this was where Zynga used to be, in this building back behind these trees, but I think they're Siemens now. They really moved in. Somebody did. Then there's a little like, this is our good friend TikTok. There seems to be very little information about him online, but he's a life-size crocodile with some kids riding him. Yep, I don't know either, but he's cool. He doesn't bite much. This is the light rail station. These buildings are interesting. There used to be on this site a bunch of old buildings that belonged to IBM that were abandoned a long time ago, and they took them down and put these up, and this was sometime last year that they finished them. Somebody was supposed to move in. They had a sign outside for a while, but then they took it away, and I don't know what they're doing with them now. I took a peek inside, and they weren't really finished interiors too much, just kind of like big open areas with some lights and things. You can still see people doing like electrical work inside slowly, but I don't know what's going on with it. Yeah. And this is another interesting one. It used to be a metal fabrication shop. You know, CNC machines, grinding and all that good deal. And they moved out last year, sat empty, and then they completely like gutted it and redid the whole facade. And it looks very fancy now. They've got like little pond stream up there and everything. Again, I don't know who's moving in. There's some people inside there now, but no sign, so we'll find out.